Yep. Um. Okay, well, I don't know what else I can say regarding that. I'm just looking at our notes, and there's loads of talk about Activision, so I'm debating which part to discuss and maybe leave it for the next podcast.
Oh man, you know what?
But,
we could talk about why we're not happy with the damn thing.
Okay,
right
you know
now,
what? You know what? I'll leave the esports thing for the next podcast because it's a really interesting topic. I really want to talk about that. So
esports in its own is a whole entire goddamn hour and a half worth conversation.
Right, it's such a good topic. Okay, well, I'll leave it for the next podcast. So I'll just talk about the Activision stuff instead. So, long story short, let's talk about Microsoft almost owns Activision. It's just UK's in the way. And I will not update. Like, if you're a gamer, you probably know what's happening, and I'm not gonna tell you all the details. You know, Microsoft almost owns Activision. Give it a month or two.
I was gonna say, if you're not aware of this, then please.
You know about the FTC stuff and all that kind of stuff. If you're a gamer listening to this podcast, still, you know what's the deal. So I'm not gonna explain to you all the tiny bits. So that's fine. Microsoft almost owns Activision Blizzard. Just give it a month or two, it will be sorted out. You probably don't know that Sony did sign a deal with Microsoft about bringing Call of Duty to PlayStation after this deal is signed, but only Call of Duty. Original deal included all Activision games, all Activision Blizzard games. Now it's just Call of Duty. So technically, legally, if Microsoft releases Diablo, Overwatch 3 or whatever, Diablo 5, Overwatch 3 or whatever, any other game Activision owns, what was that, Spyro and some other game, I don't know. Anyway, any Activision game, legally, they're not supposed to release it on Xbox, or PlayStation, legally. So, well done, Sony, you fucked up. In other good news, Call of Duty games, old Call of Duty games, your Modern Warfare 2s, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and so on, Microsoft re-enabled servers for them, so you can matchmake to those servers. If you own those games on Xbox, you can play them 14 years later. That's amazing. So you can play these games. So you have an Xbox 360 or Xbox One, wherever you have these games, and you can put them, you put your physical disc in there and play those games just fine. 14, 15 years later. Just fantastic. Which, of course, people speculate like, oh, so that means it's coming to Game Pass. I think it is, because apparently the PlayStation deal only applies to the new Call of Duty games, not the old ones. So as soon as this deal is finalized, expect all Call of Duty games to be on Game Pass. Fantastic. I think that's that's glorious. I do want to play Infinite Warfare, believe it or not. I actually want to play that Space Call of Duty again. I think it was fine. I think people were bitching about it too much.
It was just too drastic for what it was. It was a drastic shift, and nobody was ready for it. You know what? I will always salute backwards compatibility. I will always, hold my hand up and go, yay, that's a good thing. And anything that, helps the consumer out. Because, that's cool. You could pick up your old collection, and you could pop it in your modern machine, and the shit's going to work. But my opinion also is that's how it always should have fucking been.
Yeah.
But I also understand that the hardware level, it's not necessarily feasible in order to get away with that. So it could be possible that you're not even running the game off of the disc. They could just be using an authentication off of it, and then you just download the goddamn game. I wish I knew exactly how this worked. But yeah, I applaud the hell out of it. I wish it would be more of a standard and not an option.
Yep.
Like, I wish I could take and buy a PS4 and be able to play my PS1, PS2, PS3 games on it. And what handful of PS4 games I still have. It would be great. It would be awesome. I would applaud the hell out of that. I wish I could do it with my PC. Actually, technically, I can with emulators, but let's not get into that bucket of worms. Because I really don't want to throw emulators on my machine. I don't know enough about it. It's very easy in order to be susceptible to hacking attacks if you don't know what the fuck you're doing when you're working with an emulator, even with a virtual machine. And that's not something I know enough about. I'm kind of more like the average consumer user on that front. I want to be able to just plug a goddamn thing in, put a fucking disc in, and play the damn thing. That's how it always was, even with Nintendo. I miss those days where I could just plug a cartridge in, press a fucking power button, and look, game, not have to update drivers and update all this other shit.
Play.
And fucking screen settings and developers who don't understand the difference between fucking graphics port 1 and primary Windows monitor. What the fuck? I miss the old days.
Oh, God.
I still have this problem with Xbox games. Phil Spencer, you fuck, are you listening to me right now? Tell your goddamn developers that fucking DisplayPort 1 and primary Windows monitor are not the same goddamn thing.
I wonder if it has to do with Windows, though.
I don't think it does. I think it has to do with the fucking game itself.
Maybe.
Because I play games on. There are some games that I'll play on Xbox, but here's the thing: those are games that are developed specifically for PC. So those are the ones I don't have that problem with. But like I started playing Medieval Dynasty here as of late, and the goddamn thing wants to fucking play on my graphics card as numbered 1 monitor and not my actual main Windows monitor. Well, it's a fucking console game.
Fair enough. Speaking of PC,
sorry.
No, that's alright. This is why this podcast exists, to rant about random shit.
Like, oh my God, Ray's yelling again. This is gonna be great.
Oh yes, my highlight of the day. Oh my God.
He's getting angry.
I need to find some clips of me shouting on the podcast, because when I got nervous about something, there's a lot.
That would be a great short format content. Just like get together all of our funniest moments and throw them up in shorts.
I know, right?
Just,
I need to...
no context, whatever.
Right. I need to go to 50 fucking episodes. Fuck me. Yeah. Anyway.